Hello and welcome to this pick a card reading. I am Gabby Turner, and this was the topic that you all voted in my recent poll that you wanted to see the most, which is what they want to say to you. And this can be any person, so this is not specifically a romantic situation. It can apply to a romantic situation. But in any case, what do they want to say to you, any person? That's what we're looking at in this pick a card reading. We've got three options represented by these goddess cards. Option number 1 is Nut. Option number 2 is Amaterasu. And option number 3 is the Muses. And the timestamps will be listed below with the number as well as the name of the goddess. So 1 Nut, 2 Amaterasu, 3 the Muses. I'm going to be quiet for a moment so you can focus if you like, and then I'll see you at your reading. All right, group 1, you chose Goddess Nut. I love this image, by the way. This is so cool. All right, let me set that aside. So what does this person want to say to you? Again, this can be any person. You know, I'll try to see towards the end of it, after we've gotten the general message, if there's anything more specific for romantic situations. Maybe there will be, maybe there won't. Either way, it can apply to a romantic situation as well. But I'm just trying to give more opportunities, because not everyone has a romantic situation that they're concerned with, and sometimes people just need to understand each other, whether it's friendship or someone from work or family or what have you. So I'm starting off with these crystal cards and just getting an energy from them. First of all, this person's energy towards you is very friendly, and I think that you make them happy, and they just feel a general happiness and like upbeat, happy, positive energy towards you. That's the kind of energy they want to be able to give to you. That is also the energy that I feel, you know, you have that sort of presence in their life as well. But I'm also getting here, there's something about, I think sometimes this person feels almost like the two of you are too similar, or like they feel like maybe you're categorized together too often, and it's almost like they feel like they need to individuate. Now, I'm not saying that you are siblings, but it can kind of give that feeling of like when you're compared to your siblings too much and you're like, hey, I'm an individual. I'm, you know, or even if you're a part of a couple, or say, you know, it's a coworker and the two of you are like, we're the coworkers who always get here 20 minutes early. So people think of us as kind of like the same person or something. You know what I mean? It's like they like you, so they're not offended by comparisons to you, but there seem to be a lot of comparisons, or they're feeling that way. Even if people aren't saying it out loud, they feel that other people kind of see you as the same kind of person or the same type. They feel like you're getting lumped in together. And I would say that they don't like that. But it's not that they don't like you. They just don't want to be lumped in with you. Like, they can understand why people do that, because they're like, okay, yeah, I see the similarities too. Okay, let's tap into the tarot here. Yeah, Yeah, so they're seeing themselves as the Ace of Pentacles. They're seeing you as the Ace of Wands, or vice versa. I mean, I would say like the first difference is maybe like they feel that one of you is more of a feminine approach and one of you is more masculine, or one of you is more grounded and down to earth and the other one is more risk-taking or active. I don't know, like whatever this difference is to them, it matters. From their perspective, it matters and it should be taken into account. Like, to me, because these are both ace cards coming out, like, whatever there's a distinct difference between the two of you that they feel like people are not acknowledging. Yeah, one of you is the Ace of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles. The other one is the Ace of Wands and the Chariot. So, like, one person, and I don't know which is which, but they're feeling that one of you is more like solid, stable, committed to the long term, you know, maybe a little bit predictable, but like salt of the earth. You know, someone you can rely on, someone that you know you can count on to be there through thick and thin. Someone who is like an upstanding member of their community and, you know, follows the rules and the social understood, you know, ways of acting within that community, right? Maybe it's a neighborhood, maybe it's a family, you know, that they're like willing to conform to the social expectations around them. Could be church family, something like that. But in any case, they feel that one of you is like that, more like, you know, follow the rules, follow the traditional path. And they think that another one of you is not like that. Another one of you is more, I wanted to say harebrained. Harebrained, I think, is referring to a hare like a rabbit. You know, like a rabbit is just so spontaneous. I guess that's what the expression harebrained is. I don't know. But yeah, like just jump into something and try something new, spontaneous, getting the job done. You know, it's not, I mean, when we have the Chariot, this is someone who can take on responsibility, right? Like charioteers were very respected, also respected members of their community. I say this like I know so much about charioteers from back in the day. I just know like brief glimpses of the movie Gladiator, which is like decades now ago that movie was out, so I barely remember it. But wasn't that about charioteers, or am I making that up? But in any case, like, one of you could be a little bit more sportsman-like or just active, and maybe one of you is more youthful and one of you is older too. Could be a difference. But in any case, they're feeling like whatever this is, they want to be respected for this area in which they're different. So if they're like young and active and getting out there and getting things done and, you know, being successful and all of that, taking risks, being competitive. This is a little bit of a competitive energy, but like competitive in terms of like sportsmanship. It doesn't have to be necessarily applied to athletics or anything, though. It can just be like, this is someone who's willing to take risks and maybe do things that are more daring. And then we have the person who's taking the tried and true path, you know. So whichever of these camps they land in, they're like, I deserve to be respected for this, you know. Sometimes when we're in a community like this, we feel like we can't be respected for the person who like is a little bit harebrained or is like doing their own way. But also sometimes, you know, like we feel like we're not being respected for, like maybe people would see you as boring if you're the one who took this path of just, well, you know what, I did all the things that were expected of me. Okay. So I'm getting into describing mode, but let me get an actual message from this person to you. I'm describing their thoughts, but let's channel them in a more direct way here. What does this person want to say to group 1? First of all, the cards are giving me a problematic shuffle here, which means I feel like this person would have trouble formulating their thoughts to you. But again, their energy towards you is very positive. But let's give them the opportunity to formulate their thoughts, even though it wouldn't be easy. I think that you are amazing. I think that you stand out. You stand out as a very beautiful, kind, and loving person. You are definitely a very important member of the community of people that we are both a part of, whether that's the workplace, whether that's church, whether that's family or neighborhood. Whatever it happens to be, you stand out and are a very important contributing member to our community that we are both involved in. I do actually, whether you realize it or not, I do actually look to you for guidance. And it's not necessarily that you have your life so much more figured out than I do. It's more that you seem to be able to understand the hardship and the challenges better. It's not that you've necessarily overcome all of the hardship and challenges yourself. You still have your own hardship and challenges. You still have your own hang-ups. You know, you're still human. But the reason that I look to you a lot for guidance and understanding is because you seem to just understand the underlying reason or reasons for things being as they are. And I do truly respect that. I respect that as I choose how I'm going to approach my own path in life. Your words of wisdom or your example of wisdom, they set me up for success. You help me to understand how I can be successful. Though I do feel rather inhibited by some of your ways of being, because sometimes you seem very set in your ways about certain things. And when you are set in your ways about certain things, it really kind of hits me the wrong way. It triggers me emotionally when you're like that, because it makes me feel fear. It makes me feel sadness, and it kind of makes me want to argue with you. Because, you know, there's this tug of war within me where on the one hand, you inspire me to be successful. You help me to understand things in a more helpful way so that I can go out and be a success and understand the challenges that I'm facing from a perspective of wisdom. But But at the same time, the things, when you are so maybe attached to the status quo of things at times, when you are so set in your ways at times, it does make me feel like, okay, that aspect of group one I need to let go of, because that part of their approach to life just isn't working for me. And it makes me feel almost like that part of you would hold me back. So I do feel like I need to rebel against certain aspects of the way that you are, so that I'm not held back. But at the same time, I'm very inspired and uplifted and encouraged by you. So this is just how it is, you know, like I really appreciate a lot of what you have to offer me. And then there are other aspects of what you have to offer me that I kind of have to choose to deny, because I have to know for myself who I am and what I'm about. But I also see that there may be times when the reverse is true. You know, there may be times when I am the one who is set in their ways, and you might feel restricted by that. So I do think that sometimes we both make each other feel that way, where you're set in your ways about something and it makes me feel restricted, or I'm set in my ways and it makes you feel restricted. But I think for the most part, our energy towards each other is very happy and positive, and I definitely feel very fortunate to know you and to have you in my life. And I hope that I continue to have you in my life. Okay, so for those of you who are here for a romantic connection specifically, now I'm going to try to get more of a message that is specific to romantic situations. Still continuing from where we are, so everything set up to this point for group one is still accurate. But if you're watching for a romantic situation, then you can keep watching. If not, then that was the reading for you. But romantic connection people, let's see what we have to say. This person is saying, I find you to be very hot. I find you to be very hot, and it makes me want to impress you. Your hotness, your charisma, you know, it makes me want to be seen by you. I want you to see me being confident. I want to show you my confidence. I want to show off to you. I want to stand out as better than the rest. I want to prove myself to you, because I do feel that there are other people who are interested in you, and I like the challenge of standing out in your eyes as special. At the same time, sometimes I do feel like I need a bit of a break from your energy, group one, because your energy is so, it's like you have some kind of big expectations, or it feels like there's a lot of pressure. It's not, I don't feel judged by you. I don't feel that you don't love me, but what I feel is like a huge expectation to be the best possible version of myself that I can be. And if I'm not doing that, I do need to kind of retreat from you sometimes, because it's just too much pressure, you know? Like, I can't be walking across the hot walking across hot coals in my life constantly. Even if I should be, even if I should be focused on self-transformation and being my best self, I'm glad that you inspire me, but sometimes it's too much. Sometimes your energy is too much. It's like this angel giving this trumpet call, and I'm just like, I was down here taking a nap, Sometimes your energy does make me want to stand up and raise my arms and like embrace the big change that takes so much effort and energy. Those big pushes of self-improvement. But other times I just kind of want to curl up and take a nap, so to speak, and just nestle into life as it is and say, well, this is good enough. I'm not perfect. And, but I do feel, Group 1, that you expect me really to rise to the occasion. It's like, I can tell you see my potential in me, and that feels both amazing and also just like kind of overwhelming. And yeah, I mean, definitely sometimes I need to retreat. I always am committed to working on myself, but I have to kind of like work on myself and improve myself at my own pace, at a sustainable pace. But whenever we're around each other, I do feel, like, especially if I've had a bit of a moment, when things have gotten too intense, like I just said, and then there's a moment of maybe I have gotten some space and then I've come back into your presence. I feel very erotic feelings, like the energy is very palpable. I would call it erotic because we can just be doing like normal things that are not sexual, but I'm having a lot of sensual thoughts. My emotions for you are being pulled in different directions in ways that are very pleasant. But these are emotions that are also romantic and sexual. And I do try to keep a lid on it. I do try to not let it show, because a lot of times this is happening in situations where it wouldn't be appropriate to let it show that I'm turned on by you. But I definitely am. Like, you just have a way of being so hot to me and being such a turn on. Okay, anything else this person wants to say to Group 1? I love seeing you. I love when I get to see you. So please don't misunderstand what I said before about sometimes needing to pull away. When I need to pull away and have a little bit of space away from you, I never stop having positive regard for you. But what I do need is time to kind of contend with my own emotions. And just to feel like I can kind of be myself and not have to impress you so much, because I do like to impress you. But I'm always glad to see you. And so that is the message for Group 1. I hope that was helpful, Group 1. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, Group 2, you chose Amaterasu. She is one of my most favorite goddesses. She is a goddess of the sun. But anyway, so what does this person want to say to you? First, I'm just kind of tapping into the energy. And I would say I get an overall feeling that this person has hardened their heart against you. They know that it's wrong to do that, because they do see you as a very beautiful, special, like peaceful, innocent, loving person. They don't think that you deserve for them to have hardened their heart against you, but they have. And it feels to me that they have done this in order to protect their own reputation. I think they may feel that they have done wrong to you, but if people knew that about the wrong that they had done to you, it would tarnish their reputation. So it's almost like they're blaming you for the fact that they have done you wrong, and they're hardening their heart to you because of that, but they know that you don't deserve that. But I think that, you know, they basically see you as having a lot of power over their reputation and how they are seen, and they want to be seen themselves in a very positive light. They want people to see them as respectful, happy, blessing, you know what I mean? And they just feel like you hold a greater truth of who they are because of your interactions with them. They have not been very kind to you in certain moments. And it's like they don't want that truth to get out. That's what I'm feeling here, is just the energy. But let's tap into their message towards you, specifically using tarot. So let me shuffle a bit here and get into it. I want to have power over you. I want to have power over you that forces you to like me and that forces you to see me in the best light, so that everyone who knows us will also see me in the best light. I want you to have to like me. I want you to have to interact with me in front of other people in a way that makes me look good. If you tell your truth about me, I want you to tell only the truth about me that is positive and that paints me in a positive light. And if you ever were to tell a negative truth about me, I want people to see me still only for my good qualities. So my goal in life is to exude this larger than life, loving, fatherly, you know, apply that as it will, but like loving, gentle, kind energy, so that I create an unquestionable aura around me where I shield myself from any criticism, so that if any criticism of me is spoken by you or anyone else, it won't permeate my beautiful reputation. I have been doing this for a long time. This is how I've been approaching life. For as long as you've been someone, group 2, who approaches life from a place of truth, clarity, and integrity, I have been approaching life from the point of view of how do I succeed and navigate my public image successfully. I do have a knack for networking and personal relations, public relations. I do just generally, in my personality, I have a knack for that. I have a knack for how to engage with the public, so to speak, in a way that makes me come across to my best advantage. You have a personality I've noticed, group 2, that is so much more about speaking harsh truths and without holding back. You speak without fear. You speak the truth even if your voice shakes. You confront harsh realities without holding back. You're much more interested in truth and justice than you are in whether or not people like you. So we have very different personalities. I want people to like me and see me in the way that paints me in the best light, and I know how to do that very well. You want truth and justice, and to you that is much more important than the way that you are perceived by others or whether or not people like you. I'm speaking my honesty to you now, and I have spoken honesty to you at times when I felt that I could get away with it, when I could do so safely without you having it as fodder to use against me. Again, this is my ability to really navigate public relations in sometimes obtuse ways in order to fulfill my desired goals of being successful in the public eye, looking well to other people, looking like a success, looking like I must have a lot in my life to brag about. That said, you know, you do have a lot of power over me, group 2, and because you have so much power over me, I do see you as someone who I might have to get in the ring with. You know, we might have to go head to head at some moment. I'm prepared for that. I'm trying to play chess with the situation and be multiple steps ahead so that if we do have to go head to head in a battle of truth versus my reputation, I want to be prepared to win such a battle. I want to be able to even set the rules. I want to be in control of how this battle of truth versus my reputation comes down, because I am prepared for a victory. Group 2, you care about being someone who has moral values, who values righteousness, who values competence, who values love. I care about exuding those things. I care about people seeing me as having those qualities. Whether or not I actually do is less important. Is there anything else this person wants to say to group 2 here? That's all. And for those of you who are specifically coming for a romantic situation, first of all, red flags. But I will ask the cards, if for romantic situations, is there anything else specific to the romantic dynamic that this person would want to say? Sorry, lots of build up to nothing. Yeah, it's a strong no. I don't think that there's a specific message here for romantic situations. That doesn't mean that this couldn't have been a romantic situation, but there's nothing specifically to say about romantic feelings that's coming up in the reading. Doesn't mean that they don't have romantic thoughts and feelings, but there's nothing that's coming through here. But of course, this could have been a romantic situation, because I feel like what was described there, or what came up, is something that unfortunately happens a lot in romantic situations, where maybe there's abuse or something, and it's like what happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors, kind of a vibe. So anyway, sending prayers and kindness towards you, group 2, for whatever this situation is. It doesn't sound like a very pleasant one. And I hope that it was still a helpful reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, group 3, you chose the Muses. Let's get into your reading and see what this person wants to say to you. So I'm starting off with crystal cards. I'll show you the cards. I've pulled out kind of a lot of them for you all, but these kind of just basically help me to tune into my clairsentience. It's like they kind of trigger. So I'm just going to lay them out where I can see them. Sorry, you have to look at me in the meantime. It's just easier. I mean, I do get a lot from these cards. First of all, I feel like this person is saying that they have a lot of passion for you, for one thing, because there are a lot of red colors coming up. They're passionate about you. You know, we're not in, you know, this could be for any type of situation. It isn't necessarily romantic. But I would just say, like, passionate in the sense of people can be passionate towards a hobby or just something they're interested in. It's like so much of their energy is concentrated towards you. So that's what I mean when I say passionate. For romantic situations, there would be romantic passion as well, but let's focus on that first part of the meaning, because it's like they're fascinated with you, but like they see you in everything, like their thought process. I'm getting like Libra energy. Doesn't mean that you or them have to necessarily have a Libra emphasis in your astrological charts, but it's like the way that Libra looks at things. It has a sort of back or forth, compare and contrast. They looking for the similarities and the differences. It's like they do this. They tumble you over in their mind when they're encountering anything. Like they could be going to the zoo, you know, looking at these zoo animals and think it reminds them of you. You know, they could be reading a book and it reminds them of you, because different encounters with anything that they encounter in life, it like triggers an insight into you. Like I feel like they're looking to understand you from every single angle. And they enjoy it. It's like a lifelong process. Like for however long this person has known you, they have done this. They have understood you. It's like taking a multitude of different lenses and putting them on a camera to look at the same person, you, through these various lenses. Right? They visit a particular city, whether you've been there or not, doesn't matter. Like somehow they'll find that experience as a lens to understand something. They could imagine you being in this city and imagine your reactions, for example. It's like they're just turning you over in their head all the time, but it's a very enjoyable. It's not like their mind is, it's not like obsessive thinking. It's more like gentle. I would say like you're kind of always in their mind to some degree. They have had moments in their life when they were more detached from you than others, but they never exactly stay that way, and they do feel that when they are focused on you, like when you are kind of in the lens or in the frame of their life's focus, that life is more exciting, life is more vibrant, life is more interesting. And in the times when they've detached from you and not put you as much as a central focus, life kind of loses a lot of its flavor. But at the same time, I think that they feel that they've needed to go to both extremes of where they were focusing on you hardcore, and then at times like much more detached from you, almost maybe kind of cold or indifferent towards you, because they feel like the best balance is somewhere in between, where that's like where they are almost like their best self. Yeah, because I'm drawn to this tiger eye, and it says balance your whole being. You are part of them balancing out their whole being. But they also know that balancing that out doesn't mean that they live their life around you, you know, even though they have done this. They feel most balanced when they are thinking about you from time to time, or you're kind of the focus from time to time, but like not the central focus. Although when you are more of a central focus, life does seem more exciting. So it's almost like you're a little bit of a drug, or almost like an upper to them in some ways. You know, like you make life more exciting, and so you kind of supercharge their life, so it's easy for them to fall into a pattern of, you know, placing you as such a central focus. Everything is about group 3. I see everything through the lens of group 3. But again, with this kind of Libra energy that I'm picking up, Libra is the scales. The scales are always trying to balance themselves out. So they want to balance their energy with the focus that they have on you, so that they're not giving so much of their focus to you, but it's balanced in a way that's still pleasant and keeps life exciting and interesting. But also they're not losing themselves. Because I feel like when they do retreat so much from you and it's just a focus on themselves, you know, this person does feel a little bit dead inside in those moments. It's a sort of cold energy of almost like nothingness, you know. I guess it would be sort of a depression or a numbness. And so that's why they don't want to go too far in the extreme of that either. But you're an extremely important person in their life, because with you they wouldn't even begin to be able to find that balance that they're seeking. Okay, so let's get their actual message to you. You are, group 3, forever an enigma and a mystery to me. It feels that you are, like the moon, perpetually distant and yet always a subject of fascination. A subject that never fails to fascinate. You light up my world. You give meaning to my life. You give me a reason to continue in life. You are like the sun to me. You light up my life. You bring me happiness. You make it possible for me to even know what happiness is. I feel like this person has probably written poems to you, and they are very, it feels like very like sonnet-like type of poems, like, you are the sun, you know. You are so important to me. I have watched you grow and change throughout the years. And I have seen myself grow and change throughout the years. I've noticed the changes in you almost more than I've noticed the changes in myself. Although I am aware that I have also changed. I'm just much more impressed with your changes. The changes that I've seen you go through are many. Okay, I'm having a hard time here. I'm aware that you have also a strong understanding of me, but you do not place so much of an emphasis on me as I do on you. I know that I'm not as central to your life as you are central to my life, and yet, because you seem to understand me so deeply, it does make me feel so warm and loved. You understand me in a way that other people don't. You understand me in a way that other people couldn't. I could never expect other people to know me or understand me the way that you do. Well, you know what? At times I did expect that. I thought, oh, this is what it's like to be understood and known by someone. This is very special. I'm sure this will happen again with other people. And it didn't really. There were moments when it kind of seemed like, you know, momentarily a person might kind of understand me. But no one has ever had that enduring quality of making me feel known and understood the way that you have. And yet, it's interesting because you seem so much more detached from me than I have from you. And for me, when I detach from you, it is painful, and yet it's like a painful severance that I feel that I have to go through. I have to separate myself from you sometimes. I have to sever the cord to you at times. Especially if you're involved with someone else. There have been times, okay, I think now we are getting maybe more specifically into a romantic message for group 3, but especially when you have been involved with someone else, it's very painful for me to be paying too much attention to you in those moments. Those are the moments when I most need to free myself and get a breath of fresh air, get into my own life, balance out myself by focusing on my own needs and my own life, because otherwise it's too painful to see you with someone else. But it has been good for me these times when I have cut the cord to you, group 3. I think for my emotional health and even for my mental health, it's definitely something that I've needed to do. It's helped me to grow and be a healthier, more whole person. And I know that you would be happy for me to do this. I sense that about you, that you're happy for me to become my best self, even if it means cutting the cord and focusing just on myself for some time. I'm being reminded, just as a final statement of this Selena song, I had to hate you to love me. I don't know that this person has hated you exactly, but they had to pull their love away in order to find themselves. In order to fully love themselves, they had to pull their love away and maybe give it to another person other than you, but they had to point their heart in a different direction from just you in order to truly find themselves and become whole. So that's what I'm getting. So group 3 folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope that that was helpful to you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.